Guys, it's Mallory with Mallory Jo Mindfulness. It's time for Mental Health and Our Relationships Part 2, Unspoken Expectations and Tired Requests. I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder that I am not a therapist or a psychologist or anything of the sort. I speak from my own experiences and the observed experiences of others. Having said that, you're welcome to love everything I use in this video, use it and apply it, or you're also welcome to leave it if it doesn't resonate well with you. Okay, so about a month ago, I asked people on my Instagram story who struggle with mental illness what they wish their loved ones knew about their mental illness. I also asked the loved ones of those who struggle what they wish that the person who was struggling knew, the person with mental illness. This was super eye-opening for me as I got kind of a variety of responses, but it kind of boiled down to one thing. Especially from those of you who struggle with mental illness, I got a lot of responses along the lines of, I just don't feel like they understand. Now, I see this in romantic relationships, I see this in friendships, in parent-child relationships, and can I just burst all of our bubbles right now? They probably don't understand. I'm sorry. You are the only person on this earth who's going to understand exactly what you're going through, your exact heartache, exactly how you feel, your thoughts, and everything you go through. You are the only person who will fully understand. All other people know is what they see and what you tell them. One of the most toxic things for a relationship are expectations, especially unspoken expectations. A quick story about my trouble with expectations, this one actually not having to do with my husband, but I'm going to throw it back to when I was living with my mom and dad. After my mission, I was still struggling quite a bit with anxiety and depression, as I still am to this day, and I was living with my parents. One of the hardest things for me was trying to communicate my needs with them. I wanted their help, I know they wanted to help me, but it's like I didn't know how to make that happen. I remember one day in particular, I was having a really hard time, and I can't even remember what the trigger was, but I just remember being really upset. But rather than talk with my mom and dad about it, what I decided to do was just act like I was having a hard time, and I was waiting for them to notice and so that they would offer to help me or ask me what was wrong. This behavior included walking around with a lot of dramatic sighs. I put my face in my hands. I think I was breathing a little heavier than usual, and I was just wondering how on earth they hadn't noticed and said anything. I think that my dad was watching TV and my mom was in the kitchen, and eventually I ended up having a panic attack, and obviously they noticed then and they helped me calm down the best that they could. Now the thing that's so interesting is I could have saved all of us a lot of trouble had I just been open about my hard day and asked them if they would help me. It could have been as simple as, Mom, Dad, I'm having a hard day and I really could use some help. So can we please stop expecting people to just notice when we're having a hard time and rather speak up about our needs and let them know that we could use their help? I know, it would be so much easier if they had the superpower to be able to read our minds and know exactly what to do, but that is simply not the case. And that's totally fine. That's why we speak up. That's why we talk to each other, so we can better understand each other and support one another. Now, oftentimes I can get to the point where I speak up and I can ask for help and I let people know I'm having a hard time. But I still get into trouble with my expectations after this because I expect them to react in a certain way or help me in a certain way, but oftentimes they kind of just look at me like, I don't know what to say. So oftentimes I find myself disappointed because when I am getting the help, it's not the help that I expected to receive. So that's why I've learned 2 techniques. Number 1, drop your expectations of how they should behave and how they should be helping you. This way you can assume and know that they're helping you the best they can and the only way that they know how. They are being them and they're loving you and they're trying their very best to help you. I like to try on the thought, they love me and they're doing the very best that they know how. Technique number 2 is get extremely specific about what you want or what you need from the other person. And when I say specific, I mean really specific. An example of this kind of a specific request could be, Mom, it would be really helpful if you could go get me a glass of water with ice, please. Now, I had another situation come up where I had to get very specific with my request. It was actually just a few days ago. I was having a really anxious night and I wanted my husband to hold me. And the old me, and sometimes still the current me, would expect him to just know that he needs to be holding me because I'm having a hard time. But I decided I was just going to speak up about my needs. So I said, honey, can you cuddle me? And so he put his arm around me and he pulled me close. But But I still wasn't satisfied because I secretly wanted him to be holding me with both of his arms. And so I said, honey, can you hold me with both arms? And then he swallowed me up like a little burrito, just like I wanted him to. But if I hadn't gotten that specific with my request, I would have still been a little disappointed and sad, and my husband would have had no idea that that's what I wanted. I know that oftentimes in the moment it can be difficult to vocalize your needs. So something you can do is talk to the person afterwards and let them know what helps you during those times. Now, the danger in this is often we expect them to remember it perfectly the next time a situation like that comes around, but a lot of times they're going to forget because they have other things on their mind. This is why gentle reminders of how you like to receive help can be totally helpful, and it's totally fine that they need those reminders. Now, to finish up, I want to loop back around to the phrase, they just don't understand. Can we help one another understand? Loved ones, can you try on the idea that everything they are experiencing is real and painful and really difficult for them? To those who are struggling, can you try on the idea that your loved one is handling the situation the very best that they know how? Once we drop the judgment in our relationships, we have the power to actually truly be there for each other and support one another. So the bottom line is, speak up about what you need and what you want. I promise that as you practice this, your relationships will become so much stronger because you aren't trying to read each other's minds anymore. Anyway, I hope that this video was helpful for you in some way. Go ahead and comment below something that you thought was interesting. I just wanted to remind you guys that my website is now up. The link is in the bio. There are 4 new blog posts, so there's plenty to explore. And yeah, I'm super excited. I love you guys. Stay calm.